AOA Podcast Monday episode. Oh my gosh, look at all you good looking people out there. Look at all the good looking people. Good to be here with you on the AOA Podcast. The waiting is the hardest part. Appreciate that, Robin. Also, want to shout out our good pal, Aussie Annie, who just got out of the hospital. We learned just shortly before our broadcast here. So, Aussie Annie, we're thinking about you. Hopefully, you're doing well. Had a little mini TIA stroke situation there. So, hopefully, you're on the road to recovery and you don't have to deal with that kind of crap any longer. I certainly understand. I know the pain that you're going through. I know the struggle that you're going through. I personally spent the entire weekend with my children. So I don't know how close that is to what you've experienced, but it feels like it's close. It feels like it's real, because I know TIA is a serious thing. Also, spending 48 hours with my children, not easy. So we wish you nothing but the best, Aussie Annie. All kidding aside, it's a serious thing. We love you very much. And even though when you flush your toilet bowl, the water goes the other way, that doesn't mean that you're any less of a person in this person's eyes. So get well, rest up, be better, and we will make TIA sensitive jokes the entire episode. So we will make sure that we don't do anything that will trigger your condition. Okay, we're going to keep all the humor with your safety in mind. So we got that going for us, which is nice. The Trump MAGA Epstein debacle continues. A lot of Truth Social in over the weekend. We'll review and tell you where everybody stands today on this Monday. Ghislaine Maxwell with her Supreme appeal. She's trying to get the Supreme Court to throw her case out so she can get out of prison. Meghan Markle, will she make up with the rest of the royal family? That has a lot to do with King Charles's condition. We'll fill you in on the latest there. Governor Cuomo, former governor of New York, moving forward with his campaign to become the next mayor of New York City, what that means for the Democrats. And we're getting a Disney Tinder. Wait until you hear the name of this little gem of an app. Superman box office from over the weekend. All that and more, my friends. This is a podcast. Monday episode. I want to say this. There's a young gentleman out there in the internet world who, I don't want to sound too harsh, but made a mistake by coming after your old pal Aunt. I'm not going to mention this person's name. You could probably search and find who they are. And for my good AOA holes, the members, the Discord friends, I'll fill you all in on what's going on. I'm going to respond to our new friend here, our new pal, just not on this episode. Somebody did something to us, not so great, maybe kind of fun, but I have a lot to say about it, and now is really not the time for that. So I'll fill you in more, but just in case, I just want to put it out there that in case somebody saw what occurred and transpired over the weekend, because it's on TikTok and it's on Instagram. By the way, if you search us on TikTok, you'll probably find it pretty quickly because you won't find us anymore, which is part of the problem. So I don't know. Maybe we're gearing up for an old school radio battle like in the old days. I'm not sure. It's been a long time since I've dropped the gloves with somebody, and I'm not afraid to do it. I certainly have a lot of issues with this person who I do not know, and we'll address it. We'll bring it all to the airwaves. I'm fairly confident that we'll come out of that with a little bit of a internet victory. And yeah, there you go, Scott. Scott, I'm gonna say a lot of things. There's gonna be a lot of things said, and that very well might be one of them. I appreciate that wholeheartedly. Thank you. Yeah. If you're not on TikTok, it's on Instagram too, but you'll probably find it a little. Cuddles found it on TikTok. I don't want to drag on about that. Just know we're gonna light somebody up. We'll have a little fun doing it. but I got to put in my time. A younger aunt would have been would have been angry, would have fired off a lot of chatter. But the older, calmer aunt, I like to take my time with the revenge. I like to do my homework. I like to really get into somebody before I lay into them. So, to my new friend, your time's coming. You just wait and see. Your time is coming, friend. All right. Epstein, Trump, speaking of friends, Epstein, Trump, and MAGA. I was really blown away by President Trump's behavior over the course of the weekend. I was really, because all last week, if you listen to this program, and I know my liberal friends hate when I say this, but I always try and steer people in the right direction, whether they're liberals or Republicans, conservatives, whatever. And I feel like, sometimes you got to throw a bone to the current president. I didn't think he handled the Epstein thing well all last week. Again, quick recap. DOJ comes out, I believe, under his direction and says there is no Epstein list. There's nothing more to investigate here, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Wednesday, we go over the question that he had. He interrupts Pam Bondi, answers for her, allows her to answer, but basically steps in and is like, I can't believe we're still talking about Epstein. Friday, it's still going on. We learned that Bongino had left, and he's basically like, I'm not staying. If Bondi's staying, all this and that was going on. Okay. That was what took us through last week. And I left last week basically saying, hey, it's time to change your tact, because if you don't, it's not going to go well for you. I feel like there's not many things that could peel away the MAGA support from Donald Trump. Frank doesn't think that anything can. And I think that this will take a percentage. This might be the largest percentage he loses. Now, is that half of the MAGA crowd, or is it 10% of the MAGA crowd? I don't know. And we'll learn over time. But what we do know is it's not going well for them. And Donald Trump, in my estimation, continued to not handle it well over the weekend. And I thought that the first move in this little restaging, or trying to redirect the MAGA crowd from Donald Trump, came early on Saturday morning when he put this out on Truth Social. Because of the fact that Rosie O'Donnell is not in the best interest of our great country, I'm giving serious consideration to taking away her citizenship. She is a threat to humanity and should remain in the wonderful country of Ireland if they want her. God bless America. Now you might be thinking to yourself, what does this have anything to do with Epstein and all that? Not much. But when I saw the tweet, or the Truth Social, the very first thing I thought of is he going back to the Rosie O'Donnell well to distract us all from the fact that this gigantic Epstein debacle has just unloaded onto everything MAGA? I mean, everything. The Epstein thing was all anybody could talk about last week and continues to do so. Now, our podcast, again, go to anthonyonair.com. Go to anthonyonair.com. Click on our YouTube channel. We're, of course, on Spotify. We're live on Facebook and YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But our YouTube channel has the best playlist. It's all of our podcasts and videos are organized into one great place on our YouTube channel. You go there, you click on our playlist. There is a Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein playlist that has, God only knows how many videos we have up there right now. I mean, it's in the hundreds. I don't even know, perhaps 200. Let me take a look. I'm going to go take a peek right now. Let's see here. Our Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein, view full playlist. Let me see here. This is kind of cheating because we have a separate Ghislaine. Okay, we have 129 videos in the Jeffrey Epstein playlist. 129. Now, that is not including any of the Ghislaine Maxwell videos that we have, because if you remember when she went through her trial, we dedicated portions of the podcast to her trial alone. So that's not counted. in the list, in the playlist of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. That's a separate playlist altogether. So we got 129 in the main playlist. Hang on, I got clicky crazy and now I lost my place. Let me see. Ghislaine Maxwell Daily Trial Recap. Let's see. View full playlist. We have 26 videos in that playlist too. So over 150 videos dedicated to this topic. So we've discussed this a lot. So I know when it pops in mainstream media, and you can see it everywhere. It's Tim Dillon's talking about it. Joe Rogan's talking about it. Theo Vaughn is talking about it. Pod Save America. All these different places are, honing in and focusing on this topic. And for him to come out flying Saturday morning with I might deport Rosie O'Donnell, who's not even living here in this country at the moment, or taking away her citizenship, I guess, not deporting, but taking away her citizenship to me is let me see, he's going back to his well, he's going back to his bag of tricks. And I say that as an entertainer who's been in front of audiences for 20 some odd years. And I've done live, crowd work, hosting events and concerts and all these kinds of things. Over time, like a comedian, you develop material. And sometimes when you're not having a good set or the hosting gig is not going well, you go back to your bag of tricks of stuff that is tried and true and works. Every comedian can do this. Most comedians, when they're trying out new material, they'll start with something they know works. They'll put some new material and see how it goes. And then they'll end with something that they know that works, because that's a chance for them to try something out. Audience is happy. They're laughing. Maybe they're not laughing. And then they're laughing again. So you always go back to the well with what works. And the Rosie O'Donnell stuff always works for Donald Trump. This was so random, so out of left field, so bizarrely placed that I saw that and I go, this guy, is this what this guy is doing to try and get away from the Epstein thing? So that was one tweet. That was one Truth Social. And then he didn't stop there, because this was at 9:20 in the morning on Saturday. And then around 5 o'clock in the afternoon, he dropped one of the biggest Truth Socials that I have ever seen. And look, there it is, filling the whole entire screen. Look at this thing. This is a long one. And again, I think he's just taking the wrong tact here, especially with his own MAGA supporters. And I say this totally admitting nobody knows this guy's audience better than this guy. Nobody knows the MAGA people better than Donald Trump. I'll admit that. Running up to this election, the election of 2024, I can admit I had it wrong. I had the MAGA people wrong. Going back 2 years ago when they lost the midterms, he endorsed people. They did not win. I was like, ooh, his time is up. It's done. It's over. Turns out he was only getting warmed up. He was laying the groundwork to come back and whip the Democrats' ass in 2024, which is exactly what happened. That's exactly what he did. But I can't help knowing all that, knowing that nobody knows these people better than him. I still think what we're seeing here is a huge mistake on his part. He tweets, "What's going on with my boys?" And in some cases, gals. First off, weird start. Now, I know the liberals like to go in and lean into stuff like this and act like this is fucked up and misogyny and all that, which I know he doesn't give a shit about. However, it's a little strange that he would start with "what's going on with my boys," and in some cases, gals. That would have been better suited to saying, "Hey, what's going on with the MAGA movement?" or "what's going on with my people." I think he could have, bringing in the boys thing is a little, right, Krista? It's a little, the fuck? It's a little, I read that to start and I'm like, what is this? Is this what he's going with? They're all going after Attorney General Pam Bondi, who is doing a fantastic job. We're on one team, MAGA, and I don't like what's happening. We have a perfect administration, the talk of the world, and selfish people are trying to hurt it all over a guy who never dies, Jeffrey Epstein. For years, it's Epstein over and over again. Why are we giving publicity to files written by Obama, crooked Hillary, Comey, Brennan, and the losers and criminals of the Biden administration who calm the world with Russia, Russia, Russia hoax, 51 intelligence agents, the laptop from hell, and more? They created the Epstein files just like they created the fake Hillary Clinton, Christopher Steele dossier, and they used it on me, and now my so-called friends are playing right into their hands. Dude, no, the Epstein thing is not a partisan politic issue. In fact, the Epstein thing defies politics. It reaches across the aisle more than our own friggin' Congress can do to pass a bill, right? I mean, there's more cooperation in the Epstein thing. There's not many issues that we all agree on, right or left. Finding out who was behind Epstein is a bipartisan thing that everybody wants to get the answers to. And for him to turn it into this is crooked Hillary, like, are you insane? Now, crooked Hillary's husband, by the way, definitely a part of it. Allegedly, don't sue the guy with no money. There's photos, there's lots of other things. Also Trump, I got to mention that too, because then the liberals come after me and kill me. It is true. It is bipartisan. Don't sit there and act like this is another Russia hoax, because it's not. We can smell bullshit, and this is it. We know when things are. By the way, he's got a lot of things here. The dossier, the Russia. He's got some points there. To spray the Epstein thing with that brush, that little spray paint brush, I don't know, man. Nobody is buying it. Your people didn't buy it on Wednesday when you tried to answer and hijack Pam Bondi's question, and they were not buying it after this. Why didn't these radical left lunatics release the Epstein files? If there was anything in there that could have hurt the MAGA movement, why didn't they use it? I actually agree with that. That's why I think that Trump really had nothing to do with this, because I don't think that the Democrats, especially in the Biden administration, would have been able to resist that. There's just no way. There's no way we go through the election, see Biden's declining health, and then prior to switching over to Kamala, there's no way nobody brought up, hey, should we release the Epstein stuff with Trump? Like, if they had it, that's when it would have came out. The old October surprise. We were all sitting around waiting for it. It never came, because I don't think there's anything really there. It's regarding Trump. That's just my feeling, because I think if there was, we would have seen it. Now, a lot of people I've seen on the internet making the argument, well, this is a kind of double-edged sword, because if one side releases it, it not only takes down the other side, but it'll also take down their side. I understand that, and it's not a bad argument. However, I think both of these political parties are so spineless, they will do whatever it takes. I think that they would push their grandmother in front of a bus if it would win them the election, especially for the presidency. I think both of these parties would push their grandmother in front of a bus to win a class presidency in fourth grade, let alone the presidency of the United States of America. So I just don't buy this whole thing of, well, let me throw shade on the left for not releasing it either. By the way, the left, lots of issues there. They weren't campaigning on putting this information out. You were. That's why everybody's giving you a hard time. And it appears like they're giving the left a pass. They're not giving them the left a pass. The left was never like, we're going to do this. We're going to get this information out. We're going to make sure we're with the people. We're protecting America and America first. They did not do that. You can criticize them for it. That's fine with me. They deserve lots of criticism, mainly because one of their most successful presidents was on the fucking flight logs. You know what I'm saying? There's pictures of women massaging him while they're in a layover. The woman was of age. I could tell you that. The one in the picture. I don't know about any of the other ones. I'm just saying. And that's been a sticking point for that's been a problem for Democrats. But I've been on this show a million times going, The last Democrat convention. Why is Clinton there? Why is this guy who we know almost basically dead to rights was fully involved with Epstein? Why is he still there to try and drum up political capital for people? By the way, that also proves my point that these people would do anything because they literally got this fucking Clinton to go out there on stage and be a part of the Democratic convention, even after all of this information of his associations with Epstein were out there in the world. All of it. Ghislaine Maxwell was at his daughter's wedding. I rest my case. I rest my case. Like, you're hooked into it. You're a part of it. And also, you got caught getting a beach in the White House from an intern. Like, I just don't think you have the moral compass to be like, I was with Epstein, but I wasn't with him at the island or anything like that. Like, give me a break. Give me a break. You know, and at the same time, I don't think that they have anything hardcore on Clinton either, because I think that Trump would throw it out there. I don't think Trump wants to like destroy lives, but after catching a beating in the last week, I think he would be like, okay, here's all the here. You want to see? Here it is. Because somebody is now controlling him, and whether the rest of the MAGA people want to admit it or not, he was told, squash this, and that's what he's trying to do. When else have you ever seen Donald Trump pull a 180 on himself and act like this? When else? He's been the president of the United States for going on 4.5 years now. 4 years first time. We're a half a year into this one. When have you ever seen him do an about face and a 180 on what he said like this? When? Answer. MAGA people, answer. Comment below. Answer me. When? Because I've not seen anything like this. I've not seen behavior like this from him until this very moment, which makes me think old Donnie boy is awfully afraid of whoever's pulling the strings on the Epstein thing, because all of a sudden it's nothing to see here. Trump, Bongino, Patel, up and down the list, you name it. We're going to be transparent. We're America first. We're going to release those files. Kennedy, Martin Luther King. Yeah, hesitation on Epstein, but yeah, I would do it. Where's that guy now? Where's that guy now? That ain't this guy. That's this guy with somebody's foot on his neck telling him what to say, telling him what direction he needs to go in. They haven't given up on the John F. Kennedy or Martin Luther King Jr. files, no matter how much success we have had securing the border, deporting criminals, fixing the economy, energy dominance, safer world. Iran will not have nuclear weapons. It's never enough for some people. It's not even like that, though. Here's the thing. Are you doing good things? Yes. Not everybody feels that way, but I think that, and I think this is a fair statement to make. I know people are going to hate this. I think this administration has done a lot in a short amount of time. I've been in existence for 42 years. Man, it pains me to say that. I've been cognizant of politics for maybe 32 of those 42 years. I was a 10-year-old in the voting booth, motherfuckers. That's right. I wasn't actually voting. This isn't Chicago after all. But I was into social studies and history at a very, very young age. So I was studying all this stuff. I was aware of everything going on from the first Bush campaign on to Clinton and all the presidents after that. I could look at all of those presidencies and administrations and say, I really don't think any administration has gotten as much stuff done as this administration. Now, my liberal friends could make a case that they've screwed up more than any other administration. That's not the debate I'm trying to have here. That's fine. I'm okay with that if you feel that way. But admit that that's a pretty decent list of things. And my point is, it has nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. It has nothing to do with getting down to the truth. At its core, where your problem is because people are tired of getting screwed over and controlled by a shadow government that we don't know who's in charge. And Trump was a beacon of hope against that, especially for conservatives, especially for MAGA Republicans. And now you're doing a 180 and you're expecting people to go along with you because you've accomplished some other things. It's not how it works. It's not how it works. This is like, It's like if you're in a relationship and somebody works and supports a family and they, they show up, they take the kids out on Saturday and do this stuff. And then they go on drinking binges and then hit their spouse, or they go cheat on their spouse. And they're like, well, I'm a good dad. I'm a good mom. Or, I picked up the kids from soccer practice. What do you want from me? I'm going to go bang the neighbor now. Like, no, that doesn't mean you're a good person, And that's exactly what we have here. This doesn't mean that you're living up to the expectations that you promised people. Nobody forced you to promise that you were going to release those files. You went up there big chested and acted like, I'm not afraid of anything. I can do this. And now you're cowering under whoever's telling you to turn in the different direction. Don't at me, bro. We're about to achieve more in 6 months than any other administration has achieved in 100 years, and we have so much more to do. We are saving our country, making America great again, which will continue to be our complete priority. The left is imploding. Kash Patel and the FBI must be focused on investigating voter fraud, political corruption, Act Blue, the rigged and stolen election of 2020, which nobody gives a shit about anymore, and arresting thugs and criminals instead of spending month after month looking at nothing but the same old radical left-inspired documents on Jeffrey Epstein. These are not radical left-inspired documents. Your people wanted to see this information because we know it's bad. Because either our government is completely foolish and we're just protecting our own awful human beings, or somebody very high up had conned and run blackmail schemes on our government from an outside source, which I think might be the case, which is probably why nobody wants this to get out. But if that's the case, let it get out. You've got to wash yourself of this whole thing and just continuing to act like it's not a big deal or it's a left problem is fucking ridiculous. It's utterly absurd. Let Pam Bondi do her job. She's great. The 2020 election was rigged and stolen, and they tried to do the same thing in 2024. That's what she is looking into as AG and much more. By the way, nobody gives a shit. But if you're a MAGA supporter, can you tell me right now if you give a shit about the 2020 or 2024 election? Do you care? Your guy came back and won. He not only won, he stomped both Biden and Kamala's face into the ground. It's an embarrassing loss for the Democrats. The guy was politically dead. He couldn't get anybody elected in the midterms. He comes roaring back, almost gets killed in the process. He looks like the biggest folk hero ever to the right, comes in winning by 1 million. And now he's like, we should look into you're not going to win anybody over with that. And if you're a MAGA conservative who really cares about that, please let me know. Because if enough of you say, I will change my opinion on it, but I don't think most of you care. And I certainly don't think any of you care more than you care about finding the truth behind Jeffrey Epstein. Because the truth is, a lot of us have kids or nephews and nieces, and nobody, or even close family, close friends that are almost like family who have children. And I don't think anybody wants to see those kids from any age up to 16, 17, and 18 years old be taken advantage of and preyed upon by powerful, wealthy people. Nobody wants that. And what Donald Trump is failing to realize here is no matter what your rhetoric is, you are not going to overtake people's need to keep children safe. It is never going to happen. And you might as well stop trying because you look foolish and stupid. Let's keep it that way and not waste time and energy on Jeffrey Epstein, somebody that nobody cares about. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I also find it weird when Donald Trump signs off on a tweet like any other middle managing, paper pushing executive in any company. Like, can we close the loop on this Jeffrey Epstein thing now? Can we put a pin on this Jeffrey Epstein thing and revisit it at a later time? Why don't we circle back? Jeffrey Epstein is a waste of time. Let's land the plane on this some other time. Sincerely yours, Donald Trump. This This Jeffrey Epstein rage could have been an email, not a meeting. Let's move on. Sincerely yours, warmly, Donald J. Trump. Yeah, I mean, it's thank you for your attention to this matter. The fuck are you saying? The opening statement and closing statement of this Truth Social is utterly absurd, not to mention the complete idiocy of the middle part of it. I mean, it's fucking batshit crazy. And so I then, I see that and then I go over to Twitter because I'm like, okay, let's see what the people are saying. And this is the first thing that pops up on Twitter after I read that phrase is this guy Spexo on Twitter who proceeds to pour lighting fluid on his Trump stuff and light it on fire outside of his house. And he says, burn your MAGA hats. This guy sucks. I look back at some of his old tweets and he's not a Democrat. That this guy is a Republican. I mean, this is his people. His people are not happy with the direction he's taking here. And I don't blame them because I have children and the people I care about have children and nobody wants to see children preyed upon by the wealthy and elite. And I feel like somebody needs to have a reality check with Donald Trump because no matter what you say, no matter how much you try and blame Hillary or anybody else, you are not going to consume that natural desire in people to protect their kids. It's not going to happen. So I really wish he would just quit it because I think he is looking awfully foolish. Awfully, awfully foolish. Again, if you're a MAGA person and you disagree, I'd love to hear from you. Frank doesn't seem to think that he's going to lose any supporters over this, but I see a lot of people. Again, I've seen some people that go, I'm not going to vote for the left anytime soon, but I don't like what he's doing. And those are the messages that I keep seeing. By the way, Laura Trump, President Donald Trump's daughter-in-law, former co-chair of the Republican National Committee, said the White House needs to show more transparency in its handling in the investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. Her words, not mine. Her words. You already know how Candace Owens feels. How I want to say Megan Fox. What's the Fox Megan girl's name? I always forget her goddamn name. Between Megan Fox, Meghan Markle, there's never enough room for that third Megan in my head. There's just not. Megyn Kelly. The old noggin came through before the live chat. I'm stunned. I didn't think that would happen. Yeah, see, Robin's in Frank's camp. Robin is in Frankie C's camp. Thinks, bless your heart, Brian. Thank you. Thinks that he'll lose less than 1%. You might be right about that. You and Frankie, you guys might be right about that. I have a feeling what I know for sure is this is bigger than he thinks it is. Trump thinks it is. And it's not going to go away with the tactics that I think he's throwing more fuel on the fire to steal from our pal Spexo over there. I just think he is. I just think this is the way to handle it. At the end of the day, it could be less than 1%. Who knows? Again, it's not like he's up for re-election. I think he wants to pass it along to JD or his son or whoever he's going to pass it along to. But it's not like it's going to be him up there for re-election. Unless Bannon gets his way. But that's the latest on the whole Trump fiasco. And continuing to dovetail on this, it's coming up on Ghislaine Maxwell's appeal with the Supreme Court. She was convicted. She's serving 20 years down in Florida. She put an appeal in, which is the weakest appeal I've ever seen, which goes back to Epstein's first sweetheart deal that he signed when he was convicted of being a sex offender the first time, which is him and all his friends and future people that are a part of this can get a pardon, which is the most absurd deal I've ever seen. So she used that to try and appeal her case. She was thrown out by a lower court. She's taken it all the way to the Supreme Court. The DOJ has defended their case against her, even though there's nothing more to look into with Jeffrey Epstein, even though he trafficked minors to relatively nobody. They're fairly certain, the DOJ, that she helped him traffic minors to no one. And they believe that she deserves to be in prison. So the Supreme Court is going to put this case on their docket and hear it and rule on it. We believe they're going to rule on it at some point very soon. But the feds wrote in a legal filing the contention is incorrect when looking at her appeal, and they're going to fight her attempt to get out of prison on this sweetheart deal that Epstein was given early on, which was utterly ridiculous, which was by what's his name, who Trump later on tried to make attorney. Was it attorney general the first time around, or it was something in the cabinet? I can't remember what it was. His name, but not. Fuck, it doesn't matter. You guys know who I'm talking about. Somebody will get it in the live chat. So, but the timing is impeccable. That the DOJ would release this statement on Jeffrey Epstein last week, and here we are this week, and Ghislaine Maxwell is gearing up for a Supreme Court argument. This, like I said, is after the Second Circuit of Appeals already rejected her appeal. Now only the Supreme Court. That's basically her last chance, with all legal experts expecting Acosta. Thank you, Bob. What is this? This is another guy. I got to put the good names up there. Bob Wabobble. Bob Wabobble. That's a good name. I hope that's your real name. I hope that's not just a fun nickname. Bob Wabobble, everybody. Yeah, Acosta. He tried to put Acosta up in a position, and that didn't work. So, and Acosta was the one who gave him the deal, if memory serves me correctly. Insane timing that all this is happening. Let's see how this all plays out. Now, Bongino left, took a leave. People were like, he's not coming back if Bondi's still there. We know for sure that he was back at work today. Nobody commented on anything here. It's just, kind of drama that nobody was able to get, any sort of answers to. But again, the president of the United States, Bongino, Pam Bondi, at some point, they are going to be in front of media, and media is going to ask them questions about this. This is not going away anytime soon. It's just not. The only thing that can take this off course is Russia, Ukraine, which, if you guys aren't following that, Trump's comments over the last couple of days has been more and more. It doesn't look like Russia's looking to settle this anytime soon. And he's starting to gear up sanctions, trying to get that across in Congress to get them to put harsher sanctions on Russia, because what else are you going to do? This Russia thing is a no-win situation for him, because Trump is a tough talker. And you just don't want to get into a war with Russia. You have to talk tough, and you have to make sure that you're willing to go to that extreme. But God love us all if we wind up getting entangled in this and getting involved, either with strikes or boots on the ground. This is a different thing. This isn't Iran. Nobody's going to stick their neck out for Iran. But between China, Russia, they have that monetary deal with Brazil even. There's a lot there that, everybody worries about the start of World War III. I worry that this could be part of the start of World War III. But you got to do something. You got to do something. That's what I will say. Kennedy as a president made some mistakes and did some real stupid shit in the beginning of his administration. Most mavericky people do. Most mavericky people, Kennedy, Obama, even Trump. Like, I will give this, like, where they're like, oh, this is different. This is from left field. This is a change. They make a lot of mistakes early on. And Kennedy definitely did that. Bay of Pigs. You could go up and down the list. But Kennedy's diplomacy, having the putting the boats out there. What do you call that? My fucking mind is gone today. I'm telling you. It's been a long day for your old pal Ant. I'm trying to wrap up the show too, because it's Cuddle's birthday. The blockade, he put the blockade together, and he really, what pushed us to the brink of war, Kennedy and Bobby Kennedy and everybody in his cabinet, they really used diplomacy to the best of their ability to squash that conflict and make sure that nobody was harmed. I mean, it's brilliant. Again, Kennedy made a lot of mistakes, and then at some point, he just turned the jets on, and he was able to diplomatically just skate his way like Emmett Smith running through a defensive line. Like he was just, you'd think they got him, and or Peyton too. You'd think they got him, and all of a sudden the guy's all taken off. That's what Kennedy did in that moment, and it was brilliant. You need another stroke of genius to brilliantly navigate the knot that is Russia, Ukraine. Because I agree with the president. You've got to stop the death there. It's just useless. Nobody is making any sort of advancements anywhere ever. They continue to bomb Kiev. They continue to bomb Ukraine, and they're not doing anything else but just bombing innocent people. It's unfortunate. It's terrible. And it needs to stop. And they don't look like they're in any way, shape, or form wanting to stop. So you got to find a way to rein those people in. And Biden threw a ton of sanctions on them. And China and Brazil and everybody kind of came to their aid and propped them up a little bit more. But now it's time to really time to turn those levers on Russia and really start to put some pressure on them. You know, now's the time to start letting any crazy person out there that wants to kill, you know, a Putin, have at it. Give them some money. Give those people some money. Give them some bucks. Give them some intel. You know, it's time to make those crazy, you know, military organizations that exist in the world for hire. It's time to be like, hey, this is what time he likes to walk by the window in the Kremlin, you know? Yeah, maybe be around there with a couple of, you know, whatevers. Whatever you have to do so that it doesn't come back to us, because America attacking Russia, not great. Some other crazy person attacking Russia, oh, what a wonderful, fortunate series of events. But you definitely need some new leadership over there for sure. Our old pal Meghan Markle. Oh my God, do I love Meghan Markle? Your old pal Ann is holding on to a lot of rage. A lot of rage. There's a lot of rage around Meghan Markle. Again, I wish I could just pour it. It's killing me to not jump into it this episode. What took place over the weekend and how burning angry I am, and it all does tie back to Meghan Markle and some just fuck faces. But I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it for either Wednesday or Friday show. I will feel better if Frankie C is here during this. He's the voice of reason. I feel like his calming presence will help. But I'm about to take a big swing at some asshole on the internet, and it's going to be big. It's going to be big. But it ties into Meghan Markle and what a piece of shit she is. We know now that, and we're putting this clip out. We know Meghan Markle's a piece of shit. No matter how much people want to prop her up and pretend like she's wonderful, she's not. She's dog shit. She's less than dog shit. And she tore that royal family apart. I mean, who accuses somebody of racism and then doesn't follow through with it? If somebody said some racist ass shit to me, I would have their fucking name and photo out and be like, here, this is the racist person, everybody. Take a look. It's this person. I would not go 90 yards and then kneel down before scoring that touchdown. There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. You wrong me, you say some racist ass shit to me, I'm going to fucking tell everybody about it. Why am I going to protect you? The only way somebody protects somebody like that is because it's not real and it's bullshit, which is the case with piece of shit Meghan Markle. We got to come up with a fun nickname for Meghan Markle. Meghan Sussex. What was the Sussex thing? Suckles? I forget what it was. Somebody had something good one day. I really liked it. I'm gonna workshop shitty names for Meghan Markle because she deserves it. But anyway. Meghan Markle blows up the royal family, pulls that poor Prince Harry, that victim, away from the rest of those people. And now we get the news that Prince Harry's people and the king's PR people had a meeting. And this is the first step in them sort of putting their relationship back together, because the king will not talk to Prince Harry. And you know what? I don't blame the king, because Prince Harry's dogshit wife caused the biggest problem in that royal family. By the way, a family which also has a Jeffrey Epstein problem. That fucking piece of shit Prince Andrew did horrible things with Jeffrey Epstein, and Meghan Markle was like, hold my beer. I can do something worse to this family. And she did. She did. And now they're not saying this, but King Charles's health is not doing well. This is not I mean, he has cancer. The cure, the treatment's not working from what I understand. There's plenty of reports on it. You can go see. I might be making it sound more dire than it actually is, but the writing's on the wall. He's old as shit. It's cancer. It's not looking well for him. I don't think he's going to be the king for that long. It's going to be William time soon. They're already planning the funeral, which came out last week. That's not uncommon, by the way. Everybody who takes the throne right away plans their funeral. They all put that stuff into effect. It's kind of weird. It's kind of morbid, but I'm Italian. We do that weird shit too. Like all we talk about at holidays is where we want to be buried and how we want our funerals to be and how often we take a shit. This is stuff Italians talk about. This fucking so I'm not going to sit here and pass judgment on the British when we're just like, did you shit yet? How do you want to be buried? Like we're fucked up too. Okay. So anyway, but he's planning all this. And now he was basically like, I'm never going to forgive my son over this asshole. And now his team is meeting with Prince Harry's people because I think they want to put it together because I don't think King Charles has a lot of time left. Now he's going to accept President Trump's visit. That's going to happen in September. So it's not like he's got weeks left or anything like that. But I think King Charles sees the writings on the wall. And, I'm sure he's going to want to talk to his son again, despite the fact that he married the biggest lard bread-sized piece of shit this world has ever seen. Despite that, it's still his son. He still wants to put it together. So they're exploring how they can make that happen. This should tell all the Meghan Markle fans out there what a shithead she is. I mean, what an awful piece of shit. By the way, her own father today came out and said the biggest problem with my daughter is her jealousy. She was always driven to be a great actress and everything like that. But every time she would lose a part to somebody, she was horrifically jealous. Her own father said this. To be fair, her father is estranged from her. They've had a weird relationship over the last few years. But her own father is like, oh, my daughter is a jealous, crazy, like she's jealous. She's insane jealousy or mad jealousy is how he described it. So despite the fact that she's the most awful person to ever come across this poor royal family and after all that Harry has been through, losing his mom, having a pedo uncle, then he gets stuck with this fucking loser. And now he's got to deal with that. Despite all of that, King Charles is still willing to let bygones be bygones and put it all together. You know what I hope he does? I hope he makes up with his son. I hope he forgives his son. Children can often be foolish, right? People make mistakes even when they're older, even when they're parents. And just Meghan's the biggest mistake this poor orange bastard will ever have made in his entire life. And that's, speaking well aware of the blackface stuff and well aware of, a lot of the other bad things going out there about Harry. What was the other thing that there was another thing besides his Halloween costume that one year. But anyway, it doesn't really make a difference. Meghan Markle blows and fuck you if you like her. Okay. But I feel bad for King Charles because obviously his health is not great. And the fact that he's trying to mend this fence, even though he was wronged, because you can go back to 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whenever they did that fucking stupid Oprah Winfrey interview where they said there was all sorts of racist talk and then refused to name who it was. Everybody, myself included, fell for it. And we were like, it's got to be King Charles. We didn't think it was the Queen. She was always just so accepting of everything. She was always so progressive. She did so much during her time on the throne. So it was just kind of like, it must be King Charles. Or Prince Charles at the time. It had to be him. Everybody pointed to him. I thought that dude was a racist because of her. And boy, do I owe that man an apology. I owe King Charles. I'm going to write King Charles a note and say, I'm sorry I ever believed that horrifying piece of shit who calls herself your daughter-in-law. You poor thing. You lost your mom, your dad, you blew your marriage, and then you lost your ex-wife, which was tragic, a national tragedy, a world tragedy. And after all of that, you'd think you'd have peace in your life, but no, the universe put Meghan Markle in your world just to fuck up your shit even more. That's going to be a hell of an apology note. Governor Cuomo is moving forward with his candidacy in New York. I feel like this is a New York thing, but the guy, what's his name? Don't mess with the Zohan. What's the guy's name? Zoran Mamdani, the socialist everybody's afraid of. You know, it's funny. You look at those things and you go, maybe this is the right just overreacting to people. I've seen the tweets. Those tweets exist. Very, very socialist sounding. Now, he says he's changed his ways and he's going to do all these other things, but we'll see. He won. He beat Cuomo in the primary. Cuomo officially announced his intent in a video released on X today that he is going to, yes, he lost to Mandani in the Democratic primary, but he's going to stick in the general race and he's going to run against him. Eric Adams, who is the Democratic mayor currently, got the boot because they're going with Zoran. Don't mess with the Zoran. He said he's running too. So the three of these two are going to duke it out, which might mean the first Republican mayor in New York in quite a while. That might be exactly what it means. And I just look at all these dopes and idiots and I just go, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I miss Bloomberg. I miss fucking Bloomberg. That fucking billionaire guy, outside of him trying to pass the law on soda, you know, the size of a soda, which by the way, he had our best intentions and yeah, everybody should be drinking less soda. Don't think we need a law for it. Post the calories, all that. That's all helpful stuff. But outside of the soda thing, that fucking Bloomberg had, there was a peaceful 12 years, you know, and I was here during 9/11. We all were like, oh, Giuliani, what are we going to do without Giuliani? Giuliani's America's mayor. Giuliani's got us through it all. And now it's 2025. And I'm like, we would have all, forget it. If we didn't have Bloomberg, we would have all been screwed. Bloomberg came in and we were like, this billionaire is going to help us after the worst American terrorist attack ever. And it turns out that Bloomberg was everything we needed. The city was safe. It was clean. That fucking Bloomberg. Who's got a problem with Bloomberg? Everybody loved Bloomberg. And then it was followed by that other dickhead. I forget his name. Tall guy. Looks like a Simpsons character. Who's the newscaster on The Simpsons? The way he had his haircut. That was the fucking mayor we just had here in New York. I can't remember his name either. But he fucking drove me crazy too. That guy was always late to shit. Everybody fucking hated that guy. And everybody hated that guy because they made him wait because he was late to everything. That's the only thing you need to have a New Yorker hate you is just don't be on time. We don't like that shit because we're fucking late everywhere we go. And we don't like to wait for other people because of the subway and traffic and shit like that. So Cuomo's going for it. I don't know how much de Blasio. Thank you, Brian. Brian's been the brain of this. Brian the Brain Bannon is what I'm going to call him. I think I am having, I tried to make Aussie Annie feel better, and I think I've been having a TIA the whole, because I'm so fucking worked up by this other thing that happened that I'm trying to keep, you know, settled, because all I'm thinking about is just go ahead and say it, Aunt. In my mind, as I'm trying to talk, I keep thinking, just go say it. Just fucking light this asshole up and end it. But I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for Frankie C. I'm going to try and wait for Friday. It'll be good. It can give me time to get all the information together that I need to, because I don't think this person knows who they're fucking with. Okay. All right. Enough. You guys, I'm going off on a tangent in the wrong direction. De Blasio, thank you. Bless your heart. Kent Brockman. Yes. They both have the same stupid hair shape on the top of their head. Kent Brockman and de Blasio. Fuck both of those guys. Last topic of the episode here, and appreciate you guys hanging with me on this one. And it's the Ozempic screw, brother. I wish I was taking Ozempic. It would be a lot easier than fucking going to you know how, that's the other thing too. I didn't go to the gym yesterday. I missed the gym yesterday, and I haven't been missing the gym. And so now I'm all mad at myself. And I had a very busy day today. Couldn't make it to the gym today. So now I have to wait till tomorrow. So I'm also a little, and then I had a taco for dinner, like an unhealthy taco. It was just one, but it was unhealthy. And so I'm also really, hey, I wish I could just fucking load up on Ozempic and lose the weight. The fucking gym is, oh my God. If it wasn't for billions, I couldn't make it to the gym. I couldn't do it. Just for the mere, I have to, my stupid fat fuck brain, I have to trick myself into going to the gym. You would think, go stay healthy, Aunt. Be alive for your kids. Don't get a heart attack, all that stuff. No, I'm thinking, don't watch Billions until you go to the gym to find out what's happening. I have to trick my brain into attaching, what's that, Pavlov's thing? You know, you hear the bell. Like the bell is Billions for me. I have to, what's going to happen next in Billions? I can't find out until I go to the gym. You know, that's really what I have to do in order to make this all work. But anyway, I digress. We're getting a Disney Tinder. Now, listen to me. There's a lot of whack jobs out there, and the Disney adults, you guys are top 10. You guys are top 10, just wacky fucking people. And I say that with love. I love going to Disney. I took the kids there last year. It was my son, who is 9 years old, like his third time. We took him when he was 1. You could make the argument that we're Disney adults, my wife and I. And the problem with that statement is, though, I could point to like literally 7 million people who have it so much worse than we are. Like, you would think we were Disney adults, except when you really see a Disney adult, you know, they're like, holy shit. And I'll give you some hints on who the Disney adults are. If you wear Disney paraphernalia at least once a week, out in public, if you have a Disney backpack of some sort that you use all the time, I have a Disney backpack. There's a Mickey backpack. We take it on trips with us. It's our we're going somewhere backpack. I don't go, oh, I got a meeting in the city, I'm gonna get my Mickey. Okay, so like I said, we're fringe. We've gone to Disney. We've taken the kids to Disney. I've never woken up at 6 a.m. and said to Cuddles, let's go to Disney World today. Let's hop on a plane and go to Disney. Like, those are Disney adults. I watched a video the other day of a woman from Jersey do the Disney Park Challenge. She got on a flight in Newark, flew to Orlando, and went not just to Disney, went to all 4 parks in one day. That's the Disney Challenge. That's a Disney adult. You're a special breed of people. I love you. Listen, I own Disney stock. I only want you to keep going. This might sound like I'm putting you down. I am not. I want you to keep being the Disney freak that you are. Okay? Enjoy yourself. I'm going to make fun of you a little bit, but I make fun of anybody. So don't take that, don't be insulted by that. But it's weird. Anyway, I love this because I want people to hook up and be together. I think finding somebody to share your life with is one of the most important things that you could do in life. Because finding Cuddles and you just feel that love and affection all the time, and it's just like, to not have that, to be without that, that would be the most miserable thing. Like, the only thing worse than being alone that I could think of is being with Meghan Markle. And outside of that, I can't, like, there's nothing worse. It's being in a bad relationship, being alone, and then there's the worst ever, being with Meghan Markle. That's basically that's how I would categorize it. So I want people to find people. And a lot of times those people are so obsessed with what Bob Iger is going to say next that they forget to find the love of their life. Meanwhile, the love of their life is probably on the fucking line for the tilt-a-world, or it's a small world for the 100th time, and they can't even look up out of their phone and their Disney app to find it. But some people have put together a Tinder for Disney adults only, and they've come up with the most brilliant name I've ever heard of. Like, think about a name. When I heard that there was going to be a Disney Tinder, I'm like, what would you call that? Like Mickey's Masquerade Ball, or like, I'm just trying to come up with names, and they're all terrible. They're awful. One right after the other. Goofy cuck chairs. Not exactly what I think they're going for, but it's not a bad name. And it's, we haven't used the C word all episode. So thanks, Paul, for giving me an excuse to put it up on the screen. And I realized I brought Meghan Markle back into it. I thought you were talking about Mickey Mouse there for a second. I love Mickey Mouse and I love Minnie Mouse and I love Disney. And I think it's one of the great, I buy into all of it, the magic and everything, seeing my kids go through it. It reinvigorates. It's fucking fantastic. Again, I feel like if I didn't have children, I probably would be. If I had that expendable income, I probably would be a Disney adult. I probably would be jumping on a plane at 8:00 in the morning and be in Magic Kingdom by 10:30, and hopping on a flight back again, But it didn't go that way for me. Anyway, the Tinder app that they're calling for the Disney adults, the Disney Tinder, they came up with the name for this app and they're calling it the Single Riders app. That's brilliant. That is so kudos. Because if you don't know, like in Disney, there's like a single rider line because they always try and fill all the roller coasters and the rides and all that stuff. So some rides have like single rider lines so that if there's like a family of 3, they can plop somebody else in that 4th chair, move everybody along. If you're single, you're in the single riders line, or you don't mind. A lot of times you don't mind. You run your ride with somebody else. You don't care. You just want to get on the ride. Single riders, beautiful. So this app is in development right now, and they're looking for beta testers. Now, I don't know what sort of criteria there is. I would imagine it would be rigorous because I've actually spoken with Disney adults, and I thought I knew some shit about Disney. These people are like fucking. They're like, what do you think was the best era of Mickey animation? Was it 72 or do you think it was like 89? I'm like, I like the one where Goofy falls and yells and then they decorate the tree and everybody's happy. Is that a classic? They're like, oh, you don't even fucking know. They're like, who's your favorite animator? I'm like, the guy who drew Donald. I don't. Is there more than one? There's probably more than one answer to this, I guess, but I don't know. Walt, I don't know. Does he count? I think he drew the first Mickey. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure he came up with some shit. These people know. So I imagine it's going to be a series of like that kind of shit. Like, if this is your favorite era of Mickey, you will match you with these other people who's also, this is their favorite era and, whatever. If you think It's a Small World is bullshit, you love Guardians of the Galaxy, then you fall into this bucket of people that you can, hook up with. And great, let's share some bodily fluid together. That's what I want. I want Disney adults making Disney babies to keep driving that Disney stock all the way up. We need Disney. We need Disney in the world. We need Disney. We need. I think that's what they call it when you have a successful third date in a row. I think the third date is the Splash Mountain date. That's the one. Don't splash the mountain before the third date. They're going to think you're, I don't want to say whore is not the right word. Maybe a daisy. Is that fair? Because Minnie is not. But Daisy, I feel like Daisy's got wandering eyes at times. Well, I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to, because I'm sure there's some Daisy fans in there. Next thing you know, the Daisy people who love Meghan Markle, like, you see, this guy's a fucking misogynist. Anyway. Yeah, don't splash Cinderella's man. That's a good point. That's a good point. I love the whole thing. I just love it. Again, I want people to share bodily fluids with each other. That's it. We want to make more Disney babies in the Disney world. We got to keep the stock price up. We got to keep that stock price up, people. We got to keep people going to those parks. They're trying to get, I would love a 5th park. I want a 5th park in Disney just because I'm fucking bored. Because I've been to these 4 for a while now. I would love a 5th park with something. They're talking about a Villains Park or Villain Land and one of the things. I don't even know. See, a Disney adult would know what's happening, what's coming next. They go to the press. There's like a press conference every year for Disney news, and they go to that shit. They know what time it is. They know what's going on. I wish I did. I feel like I knew a little bit at one point, but now I don't anymore. I've kind of fallen off of it all a little bit here. But I'd love a fifth park, and if it means that we have the Disney adults, knocking oversized cartoonish boots a little bit more often, then all right. So be it, my friends. So be it. You ever see that episode of Modern Family where they go to Disney World and Jay buys Gloria the mini shoes because she's been walking around in high heels that hurt her all day long? Those fucking shoes make me laugh. They're like literally like mini shoes, and they're like cartoonishly this big, and they're made out of pillows. Like they're a pillowy, like a stuffed animal material. And she puts them on, and she's like, "Oh, thank you." By the way, every episode of a sitcom, there was a while where every sitcom in the 90s went to Disney at some point. Like all the ABC shows, because they were owned by Disney, but even other shows went to Disney. Those are always the best fucking episodes. And I think Modern Family was like the last show to do one. If any other show has done one that I missed, let me know in the comments. But the last one I can remember was Modern Family when they went to Disneyland. I don't know what it is, but I love an episode where the whole cast just goes, screw plot lines. We're just fucking going to Disney in this episode. And every Disney episode is always the same. But it's always great. It's always great. And I always love it. All right. Well wishes again to our good pal, Aussie Annie. I hope you're on the mend. I hope you're feeling good. If you want to see me ravage the absolute shit out of some loser on the internet, stay tuned because we'll do that either Wednesday or Friday on this podcast right here. So
show me potato salad.
Stick around, guys. I'll see you then. Enjoy your Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, we should go now. Go ahead.